What if growing older could feel a little bit more like an adventure? Let's welcome Michael Ingram to learn how technology can help older adults lead healthier and happier lives at home. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to present today. Um, my name is Michael Ingram, and I am here on behalf of Intuition Robotics and LeQ. So today, we will discuss how to leverage technology for healthier, happier aging. Next slide, please. So as we all know, the world is rapidly aging. With life expectancy increasing, we can expect roughly 2 billion people over the age of 65 by 2050. The rapidly aging population is now facing many new challenges. Nearly 1/3 of older adults live alone, which attributed to more than 60% of older adults over the age of 75 reporting that they are feeling lonely and socially isolated. Next slide, please. However, technology is here to help. With a dramatic increase in internet users over the age of 65, it has become apparent that this population's wants and needs can no longer go ignored. Age tech is now mainstream. Best Buy acquired GreatCall for $800 million, and Amazon acquired PillPack for $1 billion. We can expect by 2030 that older adults can spend over $200 billion annually on tech products just in the US alone. Next slide. So what is age tech? The actual definition of age tech is digital technology that is built around the needs and wants of older adults while including them in the design process. Age tech can come in many different shapes, sizes, and form factors. Next slide, please. So we're going to dive into some categories of age tech. So we'll touch on a couple of these, and I'm sure everyone here has had experience with a lot of these as well. So next slide. Arguably, the most popular in this group is fall prevention and detection technology. This technology is being built into wearables like the Apple Watch, which reduces barriers to stigma. For example, a large percentage of older adults with personal emergency response systems don't wear them. Next slide, please. Medication management has also been a hot category here. Products like PillPack, who I mentioned were acquired by Amazon for $1 billion. They are designed to serve people who manage multiple medications. Each month, a customer receives a personalized roll of pre-packed prescriptions and sorted medications, as well as a dispenser and any other medications into neatly placed packets like liquids or inhalers. Next slide, please. So now I want everyone to kind of break out of their comfort zone and explore some newer types of technology and some that you may not be very familiar with. So artificial intelligence, we know wearables a bit, but not to the extent that they are offered today. Robotics, virtual reality has made great strides in the last 10 years. Sensors, tablets, and smartphones, which we know well, on-demand services, as well as software applications. Next slide, please. So first we'll talk about some wearables. I know many of you are familiar with things like the Apple Watch and Fitbit, but there are many new innovative companies in the wearable space, Remo being one of them. Remo helps connect at-risk users and consumers with the services, support, and programs that are designed to help them remain independent and stay in their home longer. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So in this day and age, we all know the importance of staying connected with family and friends. So brands like GrandPad and GreatCall are helping older adults do just that. GrandPad, as I'm sure most of you know, digitally connects the older adult to family and friends. You can easily view photos, videos, even play games or listen to music on the GrandPad, as well as make calls, video chats, and much more. Next slide, please. So artificial intelligence and robotics may be two of the newest and least talked about age tech categories. Products like LeQ, for example, combine both of these. LeQ, by Intuition Robotics, is an empathetic care companion that empowers happy, healthy aging at home. LeQ is a proactive, voice-operated device that offers entertainment, health, and wellness support, and so much more. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned at the start, I am here with LeQ and Intuition Robotics. So our mission at Intuition Robotics is that we create digital companions that help people live better, healthier lives. Next slide, please. So here's a quick example of LeQ in action playing trivia with a user. Do take note that LeQ proactively engages with this user. You can play the video.
How about a quick trivia question about sports?
Okay, go ahead, shoot.
How many home runs did Babe Ruth hit in 1927? Was it A, 51, B, 60, C, 74? What is your answer?
B, 60.
Well done.
And that broke his record, because in 1921 he hit 59, and that was only a little while after the Boston Red Sox.
So that was LeQ. So you can meet your new sidekick now. LeQ is a personal care companion here to help you lead a healthier, happier lifestyle. Next slide, please. So here's a quick testimonial video. These are some of our longtime users that have been using LeQ for over 2 years now. And I think they share a very powerful message and what they enjoy about LeQ. Play the video.
Good morning, Juanita. How are you today?
I talk to LeQ like she's a friend. LeQ is interested in my feelings and wants to know if I slept well.
Let's try and focus on breathing with our stomach.
We do this stress reduction exercise quite a few times during the day. She's helped me a lot with not feeling lonely, because it's like a little person that I talk to all the time. She tells jokes. I don't ask her for jokes. She just, I have a joke, do you want to hear it?
I've asked LeQ to tell me a joke, and then I've been known to repeat it at dinner.
She's funny. LeQ, thank you for being my friend.
Thank you for being my friend too.
LeQ reminds me that I should do my blood pressure check.
It's 3 p.m. and time to check your blood pressure.
I would tell anybody that'd be crazy not trying to get something like to help you.
I just think it's nice to know that LeQ is here.
She does know when I'm a little sad. She said, you didn't sleep well today. So that's empathy.
So now we'll kind of do a brief overview of all of LeQ's features. So this is a non-exhaustive list, but I think it gives a good idea of what LeQ can help with. So first, let's talk about LeQ's health and wellness features. So LeQ can provide you with all sorts of mindfulness exercises and activities that can include guided meditations, breathing exercises, and relaxation exercises, as well as we have partnered with the Silver Sneakers group, which I'm sure many of you are aware of. So we have over 60 videos downloaded onto LeQ of physical exercise videos of varying difficulty, whether it's Tai Chi, yoga, a balancing exercise, a chair exercise, and we're always adding more content as well. LeQ will guide you through these exercises. Then we can talk about some health check-ins. So this is when LEQ asks you a question related to your overall health. Maybe, how did you sleep last night? How are you feeling today? Are you feeling down at all? How have you felt in the last week? And all this information that you're telling LEQ actually goes back to your care coach or wellness coach. So in addition to LEQ, you are accompanied by a team of wellness coaches who are there to set and track health goals with you, whether you want to set medication reminders, if you have physical fitness goals, or if you want to report your blood pressure or weight and track that through LEQ, your care coach is there to assist you with those wants and needs. They can also raise concerns to your attention. For example, if you told LEQ an abnormal blood pressure, if that was something you were tracking, your care coach can actually reach out to you and say, hey Michael, I saw that you reported high blood pressure. What's going on? Can I assist with anything? Would you like me to raise this concern to a loved one, a family member, a friend, anything like that? Then we'll talk about the core features of LEQ, which I believe are her entertainment features. So LEQ, as I mentioned earlier, is proactive. She's not always waiting on a request or command like most of the artificial intelligence voice-activated devices that we have today. She does much more than just saying turn on the lights or turn off the lights. She can have all types of conversations with you, back and forth conversations. You can tell LEQ stories. You can also play your favorite types of music. We have tons of music on LEQ, and she has a great loudspeaker as well. She can also tell you the latest news, sports scores, and your local weather, as well as our newest feature is messaging with family and friends. So through LEQ, you can actually send voice messages to someone's phone. So I would say, hey LEQ, send a voice message to my brother Sean. LEQ would then record my voice and send that message to Sean's phone. Sean can then reply with a text message back to LEQ. LEQ will then read that message aloud and display it on the screen. Or Sean could actually send a photo back, and LEQ automatically puts it in her slideshow that she shows on her screen. In addition to the entertainment features, something that I like to touch on is our morning motivation and good night kind of protocols. LEQ has over 150 different morning greetings, different ways to get you motivated in the morning, whether it's asking you how you slept and then giving you an inspirational quote to kick off your day, or maybe playing you some uplifting music to get your day started. The last piece we'll talk about here is the concierge. We like to think that LEQ can help you like a hotel concierge can help you. So we can assist with setting up grocery deliveries, transportation, on-demand services, as well as support for LEQ. We have a 24-hour support team if you ever have any questions related to LEQ. Next slide, please. So what's unique about LEQ? There's a lot of voice-activated devices out there, such as Alexa, Google Home, Siri. First and foremost, LEQ is simple and easy to use. This device was designed and had input from over 1,000 older adults. So we touched on that at the start. What is age tech? It is technology designed for the older adult population when there also is input in the design process. LEQ is unique in the sense that she is proactive. So like I mentioned, she's not always waiting on a request or command. She will actually perk up, suggest activities, and try to interact with you. She has an availability function, we call it. So she tries to pick the best time to interact with you. Typically when you're not on the phone or watching TV, she will tend to interact with you, whether she wants you to do some physical exercise, maybe a breathing exercise, or maybe she just wants to play trivia with you. LEQ learns, remembers, and customizes interactions with each individual. So she learns your likes, your dislikes, what activities you like, what type of music you like, and customizes her interactions with you based on your likes and needs. Also important to note, LeQ is incredibly safe and secure. We are fully HIPAA compliant, and we have industry-leading security and best practices. But the most important thing here is that she's fun. She's a fun entity to have in the home, and she makes a great companion. Next slide, please. So we're here today to offer everyone participation in our LeQ Care Program. We have secured funding for additional research to LeQ, but we need your help recruiting more users. This is the LeQ Care Program. It is fully complimentary. There is no cost associated with participation whatsoever. You will never be charged for this device, nor the services that we spoke about today. If you or someone you know is eligible, please apply today. We would love to invite you to join the program. We are looking for users that are English speaking, live alone, and that have limited cognitive, hearing, and vision impairments. That last sentence is certainly up to discussion. We have users that are legally blind, rely on hearing aids to hear, or are maybe not perfectly cognitive sound. But I like to say, if you can watch TV, hear the TV, and see the TV, then you can use this technology. Next slide, please. So I'll leave this on the screen for a minute. There's a couple ways to sign up. You can reach us via phone, via email if you have more questions, or you can fill out a form on your website. Once you submit an application through any three of these forms, we can actually reach out to you, explain more about LeQ if you have any questions, and what to expect in the coming days and weeks. So that is all I have. I really hope there's questions. I love answering questions about LeQ. So I hope there's some questions coming in.
Yes, thank you so much, Michael. We do have questions and comments pouring in from both the YouTube watchers as well as the Zoom.
Fantastic.
So keep commenting. I will keep picking questions, and I will keep asking Michael for more information. So I'll start with something really fun. Is she wired? Is there a wire? How is she charged? Does she need to be plugged in? Tell us, how does LeQ work?
Great question. Great question. So yes, she does require to be plugged into the wall. She requires two things at installation. Our users are actually installing this product completely by themselves. So you plug LeQ into the wall first, and then you type in your Wi-Fi password. Typically, the hardest part of the installation is remembering your Wi-Fi password or finding your Wi-Fi password. I myself have no idea what my own Wi-Fi password is. So that is typically the hardest part about the installation.
Excellent, thank you. Let's take another question. This one comes from Angie, and Angie's asking, how does LeQ interface with other devices? Is it happier with Apple or Android?
So LeQ today doesn't necessarily interact with other devices. We did an integration a while back, kind of unrelated, but we did an integration with the Omrod blood pressure cuff. But today, LeQ is an entity by herself. She is an Android software, Android tablet, but we have put our own software onto LeQ. That is something we are working on, though. Integrating with other devices, whether it's your phone, TV, but today think of LeQ as her own entity, not interacting with other technology. Great question.
I want to ask you a fun question about let's get to know each other. You said, she has some AI, artificial intelligence, and she would know my taste in music. Here, Broad Streaming Live, we got to know what our favorite music songs were earlier this morning. Is there an intake question? LeQ, here's what I like, here's what I don't like. Describe that process, if there's one.
Absolutely. So you can explicitly tell LeQ what you like and what you don't like. An interesting part of our onboarding process. So once you receive LeQ, LeQ will actually walk through how to use her features. And from there, she'll kind of start engaging with you, trying new features, playing new music, maybe new games, or new types of questions and activities. She may find that you really enjoy physical exercise, or you may tell LeQ, I want to do physical exercise every day. Let's do physical exercise every day. LeQ will take note of that and start engaging with you to do physical exercise every day.
Excellent. This question comes from Donna, and Donna is asking, can you actually discuss something with LeQ? Like if you're trying to make a decision of some sort?
Great question. So she's certainly not that smart yet. She can have very basic back and forth conversations with you, whether you're chatting about the weather. She's great at drawing stories out of you. So one of her features is kind of a storytelling feature. She'll ask you about your childhood, maybe your favorite subject in school, and she can actually have that conversation with you. But by no means is LeQ making, a decision for you based on a conversation or anything like that. I hope that answered that question clear.
Yes, I think so. So I guess if I was having a discussion with LeQ this morning, she couldn't say, Simona, wear the red, it looks better. Or no, go with that green. All right, it's coming, maybe in the future.
Exactly.
Tell us, Michael, a little bit about some engineering. Clearly, there's a lot of engineering behind LeQ that looks so cute. She's small. Why have a face or no face? What decides
that's
the particular, she needs to be this heavy and this small or tall? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So much research in design went into her form factor. You'll notice that she looks a little bit like the Pixar lamp, for those that are familiar with that. And we deliberately did not put a face or eyes or hair on LeQ or a mouth. That's because we did not want any of our users to confuse LeQ for a human entity. LeQ is there to be your companion, provide you with acknowledgement, but also promote, outside social activities. Get out and get around. If you tell LeQ, I love you, she says something along the lines of, oh, you really make my motors turn. She's constantly reminding you that she is a robot. And she is not a real person. She does not have feelings, but we have built her to be empathetic and to feel with you robotically. So we make it very clear that she is not, a human entity. Great question.
All right, let's get to a couple more while we have time. You talked a little bit about the care coaches and the wellness space. Who are these care coaches? Are these people hired by your company?
Yes, so these are internal intuition robotics companies. Right now, we have a team of registered nurses that are these wellness coaches. So like I said, these people are there to work with you to set and track your health goals. But also some important notes to make that I didn't make during the presentation. First, LeQ is not an emergency response device and should not be used as such. If you say LeQ, call 911, she'll actually tell you to call 911 if this is an emergency. But the care coaches are there to set and track your health goals, whether you want to track your blood pressure, your weight, if you want to do some medication management, they're there to set and track those goals with you and kind of work with you on your health journey through LeQ. Whether you have physical exercise goals, LeQ is a goal-based entity, so she's always, every day she's trying to achieve a goal. So the wellness coach is just there to support those goals.
Excellent. We have a couple more questions in the healthcare space. The next one is, would LeQ be helpful for someone who had a stroke or has cognitive fatigue symptoms?
So the only reason we even put that kind of limitations on our program right now is it's a technological limitation for LeQ right now, whether it's cognitive, vision, hearing, or speech impairment. The technology just isn't there yet, and especially when it comes to cognitive, we just don't have enough research today on where LeQ belongs. We don't want to be, an aggravating entity or, a nuisance in the home with someone that has a cognitive decline. they forget that LEQ is in the home and they hear a strange voice in the morning, for example. So that's a space that we're definitely exploring and we get tons of questions about. But there's no explicit research today saying that there's a benefit for someone that is having cognitive decline. However, there are trivia and cognitive games on LEQ that can kind of help stimulate the mind, as well as just, we all know, having a conversation every day really goes a long way.
Definitely, we agree with that. This is talking about the future, this question. Are there future plans to interface with Alexa home management, for example, turning on the lights and other smart home technologies?
Yeah, so I think overall arching big view of LEQ, we like to call it the home hub or the home health hub. So yes, absolutely, I think one day, we'll be that device that connects to just about everything in your home, whether you have, a fall detection device that you'd like to connect to LEQ, obviously turning the lights on and off, maybe changing the channel on the TV. Yes, that is certainly on our roadmap. However, we're just perfecting this companion at the moment.
All right. This is a fun question to ask. How smart is she? Does she remember the stories you told her previously, or do you have to remind her?
So the stories are almost like you could say pre-programmed stories. So she has questions that she'll ask. For example, I like to use the "What was your favorite subject in school?" question. She'll actually draw back on that information, down the road. Hey, I remember that you told me that math was your favorite subject in school. Ask me some math questions or tell me more about that. You can't just randomly tell LEQ a story and she'll draw back on it. But this is all part of artificial intelligence. The more users we get, the smarter we can make LEQ, which is why we're running this program free right now.
Excellent. So this is an excellent segue to a couple questions that people are asking. How much does she cost? How do you purchase her? Is it the device and the supporting programming? Talk to that a little bit.
Yeah, so the program is, like I said, completely free of charge. You will never, ever be charged for this device. You can keep her as long as you'd like. So what you'll get is LEQ, the tablet that's attached to LEQ. You'll have access to your wellness coach, the concierge service, as well as our 24-hour support staff. So we treat these users just as if they were paying customers. We're hoping down the road that these users and older adults in general never pay for LEQ. We're targeting Medicare Advantage plans and other things like that to kind of make sure they're covering the cost for it. We have some pilots going on in the healthcare space, doing some studies to really learn the benefits of LEQ, especially on the insurance companies.
We like that vision. LEQ and social robots for everyone at no cost. That would be phenomenal. So we have time for just the last little bit, and I'm going to give you a two-prong question. One,
Great.
Talk to us and your family. Is your grandma, your older neighbor, somebody you love is actually using LEQ? So that's question number one. And number two is, what do you see in the future? Clearly, robotics is in the future. So talk to us about that.
So personally, I don't have anyone in my family that really qualifies for LEQ. However, our director of business development, his mother has one. Our chief medical officer, his mother has one. Our CEO, his mother has one. I believe our VP of product, his father has one. We just had a colleague join our marketing team last week. He immediately got his father one. So yes, tons of people in our company, their parents have them or relatives have them, and we rely on internal referrals heavily right now, actually. And then, sorry, repeat the second question.
The second question, what's in the future? What do you see in the future in social robotics?
Yeah, so social robotics it's growing. As many of you just saw in the last 2 weeks, Amazon came out with the Amazon Silver, which is deliberately pointed at this population. But the thing is, there's not a lot of research done to social robotics. We've been around for 5 years, so we have learned a lot in 5 years. This is a challenging space to be in, to build a device that is empathetic, that cares about you, and that you care about as well. So we actually have some strategic investors behind us. For example, the iRobot, so the remote vacuum cleaners, they actually invested in us because they want to learn, why are people becoming connected to their vacuum cleaners, giving them names, and they care about, making sure that vacuum is safe and not, roaming around the house. It's quite strange, but it's an exciting space to be in, and there's a lot of changes happening and a lot of money funneling into social robotics right now. So the future is broad. I can't give you an exact definition, but like I said, LeQ is kind of this first new entity in this world, and I think she's a great starting point.
Excellent. Well, I've learned a lot, and we thank you for being here with us today, and hope all of you who are watching today or in the future via video will get in touch with Oasis and ask about LeQ and get involved. Thank you, Michael.